Hello, everybody.
We took a small break, but we're back on this now.
Yeah, we may as well finish it. I mean, we've been doing this for almost a year. It's time to beat the Colosseum.
It's time we do this, whether it's in one long video or in a few slightly shorter videos. It's time.
Yeah.
We're at the final part. We're having a boss rush, the typical RPG boss rush. Oh, I did hear a really funny suggestion from a friend though about trying to do a specific type of challenge run in this game.
Oh.
She suggested trying a monotyping run, or a monotype run, where it's like you only have Pokemon of a specific type.
That could actually
And I'm
be
like,
fun.
Not in this game.
Like, it would be hard, but that would be fun.
Not in this game.
No, I agree, even in this game.
Because we saw how awfully a Nuzlocke failed.
I mean, I made it almost to the halfway point.
True. But you did but the RNG did kind of screw you out of some really good Pokemon.
Fair.
And it screwed you out of your Meganium.
That is true.
I don't know. I've just not really been one for Nuzlocks most of the time. I don't know. Like, challenge runs for me I've never really found very... What's the word I'm looking for? It's not that I don't think that there isn't any, like, merit in it, but I think if you have to make your own difficulty levels for a game, then that says more about the game, I guess. Does that make sense?
I mean, yes, but also, I think it's that people love a game so much, they want something else to do than what the designers maybe intended.
That's true. There is a reason why a lot of randomizer ROMs exist of not just Pokemon, but of, like, Castlevania games. But
Yeah,
the problem with that logic is, when you randomize something, sometimes the RNGesus gods will be in your favor, and you'll end up getting a legendary on your first encounter or something with Pokeballs. Or, in the case of Castlevania, getting a super powerful weapon just immediately, you know?
I mean, you're right. RNG can definitely break the game, but it also has a chance of just being fun.
True. I don't know. I'm just not really one to do that kind of challenge run stuff.
Yeah,
I'd rather just...
But you can see where a person like me, that's totally something we want to do.
Yeah. I just imagine... Like, I almost feel like it's kind of trying to attempt a Dark Souls build in a Pokemon game, you know?
Fair.
Like, I don't know. Point is that the Nuzlocke, we now know that is... It's not it's not impossible, but it's not recommended.
Yeah, not impossible, kind of implausible. Like,
yeah.
Especially on a blind playthrough. Especially, like, now that I went through and almost completed the, Mount Battle. Like, I was planning on doing the final fight of that. We might make a short episode on that, because I needed to upgrade my Pokemon just a little bit further. But IVs and EVs are a thing in this game, and if you aren't planning the battles out perfectly or using the money you earn to up the IVs and EVs of the Pokemon exactly how you want them to power or min-max them before the end, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to look ahead of time into the dungeons for guides to be like, okay, what Pokemon does this trainer have? Which one's a shadow Pokemon? You know, what's the boss gonna have? What's the moves that those Pokemon will have? You know, stuff like that.
Yeah, but if you're interested in something like that, then totally just do it. Like, there's no regrets in having that kind of fun.
Yeah, I guess so. And, I mean, if anything, XD Gale of Darkness would be the easier one of the two to Nuzlocke, because you have more variety, I guess, branching out from the get-go. I like Milotic.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool looking Pokemon.
I also like its shiny form.
Yeah.
And funny enough, Milotic actually gets some nice featuring in in the new Pokemon Snap game,
Nice.
which, you know, I've seen that game around, and I can dare say that it does look very charming. In particular, I'm happy that Typhlosion has some representation in it.
Hmm.
Like, granted, it doesn't show up until like the very end of the volcano level, but seeing that Typhlosion is in the game made me very happy.
Oh yeah, totally.
And Meganium's like one of the flagship Pokemon of that game, so Jordan's got food.
Yeah. Nintendo's been doing me good.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how those Diamond and Pearl remakes are gonna pan out. I mean, maybe
I hope they go well. I mean, Diamond and Pearl was literally my first generation, so I would love to have them be successful.
yeah. For me, you know how the typical cycle of most Pokemon fans are, where it's like, started out Gen 1 back in the 90s and it was super huge, loved Gen 2, Gen 3 when they were around high school and they're like, Pokemon. But then in Gen 4 in college, they're like, yeah, Pokemon! Think of it like this. I started with Gen 2, loved Gen 3, fell off-ish around Gen 4, and then jumped back on Gen 5.
Yeah.
So I kind of was like a weird offshoot, I guess.
Yeah.
But for the Diamond and Pearl remakes, you know, graphical people aside, people being like, oh god, how dare they do this to my Diamond and Pearl? I'll make everything pixelated so that I could see the 60 frame animations of Cynthia's lovely arms.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay, I actually think I have all 4 then. Let me see.
I just wonder if whether or not E3 will actually show that, or if Nintendo's going to have any more stuff to show on it besides the fact that they're happening and that they are coming out this year. By the by, people, the recording of this video is during E3 weekend. We're going to probably save an E3 discussion for another time.
Yeah, especially when it's all done. We don't want to date our videos too much. I'm kind of surprised you brought it up at all. But yeah, no, E3 2021 is totally happening. That's when this was recorded. But
Yep.
yeah, not going to try to ruin anything.
Yeah. Although I did have a nice moment where the release dates for Diamond and Pearl remakes were dropped, and it's like, oh cool, they come out the day before my birthday.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I'll probably have to get Shining Pearl.
I think I'm gonna get Brilliant Diamond.
Pearl was the one I played on my DS, so I'm like, may as well get Pearl.
Yeah, fair enough. Then there's that Legends Arceus game that's coming out January of next year, I believe.
Really don't understand anything going on with that game, and I don't really want to talk about it right now because that might date this, but
I understand. I mean, you have your thoughts, but those thoughts might, as he said, get outdated.
Mm-hmm.
As for me...
Oh, that is a cool effect.
You like that effect?
Oh, I love that effect. Yes. Oh, that would look so cool with like newer graphics.
It's the simple things, everybody. Sometimes we are simple men with simple pleasures.
Dang it. There we go.
God, how long has that guy been up in the rafters?
And why didn't he drop down when I was inserting the things?
I just imagine he drops down and he's like, oh, thank God, my arms are about to fall asleep.
Yeah.
I can't feel my feet, man. How am I standing up? Like, have you ever walked on a foot that fell asleep?
Anytime I use a toilet that's too small.
Yeah.
Like, you know that problem? It's like, we're 6-foot dudes. If you have, like, a standard-sized toilet that's kind of low to the ground, and you sit there for more than, like, 5 minutes, it just cuts off the circulation to your leg, and it's like, I can't walk.
God forbid the space around the toilet is also small, so then you just have to scrunch your legs up a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Like, almost like where you have to kind of yoga yourself to make sure you're taking a deuce without, you know, spraying it around.
Yup.
It's just...
Yeah, it's a horrible experience all around.
Basically getting an... Okay, so... my mom had to get surgery, hip replacement, and one of the things that was a requirement for our household was to get an elevated toilet seat. Got that for one of our bathrooms that has been very small for me.
Yeah.
That elevated seat made it 100% more bearable. Heracross! I want it too. I love Heracross.
Me too.
So, yeah. Some people think like, oh yeah, it must be so cool to be so tall, over 6 feet, you know? Like, all the girls on Tinder are gonna be like, okay, you get a C+, and then you'll also be like, the center of attention. It's like, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
It has downsides.
It has downsides. Frequent back problems.
We just do not talk about it very much because y'all seem so infatuated with this idea of being tall.
Yeah, I mean, do you want frequent back troubles where you almost feel like you have to, you know, break yourself backwards in order to be able to stand up straight or turn your head without it stinging?
Yep. Do you want it to feel like after a hard day's work that it's always leg day and you're super sore and can't bend down to reach things on the bottom shelf?
Exactly. Or you want to not be able to fit in certain cars straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be completely uncomfortable in flights where sometimes the chairs are just not to your comfort? I remember a particular story with Andre the Giant, and I know he's an extreme example, but my point stands. There was this story that Hulk Hogan did about Andre the Giant where he's saying, like, yeah, we were flying out in an airport, and when Andre sat down in the plane, for one thing, the seats could barely contain the man.
Yeah.
And the other is that because he was over 7 feet tall when he was alive, he had to turn his head, he had to cock his head to the side so that he doesn't so that he could be able to sit without hitting his head on the cabin.
Yep.
Being tall can essentially, obviously, you know, varying depending on the height, but being tall can mean you could be in a world of discomfort.
Yep.
Not constant discomfort, but discomfort.
Yeah. It's what we live with.
Yeah.
The price of being tall.
It's not fun.
No.
Chiropractors are expensive.
We keep them in business.
we keep them in business. You know, they have to rearrange our spines in a lot of different ways. We're the ones that provide those chiropractor ASMR videos. You're welcome.
Yep.
Okay, I think you're good now.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. Good job.
Yeah, that Heracross, if you purify it, I think that thing will be a very nice addition.
Yeah.
Or maybe not. I don't know. I like Heracross. Probably my favorite bug type, actually.
It is one of my favorites.
Like, let's see, what was another back pain thing I had to deal with recently?
Wow.
Probably the worst that I had to deal with at this moment, or recently, was one where from my neck down to my shoulder. Now, granted, this might have been because I slept wrong, which is a thing, and also not exclusive to tall people, but I straight up could not turn my head left or right or look up and down because this knot in my neck and shoulder were just preventing me from being able to move.
Yeah, I remember that.
But it was not fun. Like, I was in so much pain. Hey, there you go.
Yep, it got right out of the Ultra Ball because I wasn't tapping buttons.
It's not.
I love how much that affects you.
It's not real.
But it is.
It is.
Mentally, it is.
It's not. It's a superstition.
That just worked. We call that a coincidence.
It's a superstition, like trying not to cut your toenails at night, or Canadians.
Okay, yeah, I know Canadians don't exist, but I've never heard of not cutting your toenails at night. What?
Yeah, Is that a thing in Japan? Let me check. I actually don't remember. I remember hearing about it when I watched Holic back in the day, and I do not know the origin of why.
Okay, yeah, it's probably some kind of Asian thing. Wow, I never heard of that, actually. Interesting. The interesting topics we bring up on these videos.
Huh. So, yeah, you're correct in that it is in Asian countries. Like in in the Philippines, it's like believing that cutting your nails or toenails at night will bring death to a family member.
Oof.
And in China, claiming that cutting nails at night will bring ghosts and evil spirits. Because like the scene in particular in Holic that I remember that involves cutting toenails, and if you've seen Holic, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's the scene where the main character notices how long his toenails are, and they're like, "Oh," and he goes like, "Oh, I just remembered. We're gonna be playing soccer in gym class tomorrow. I shouldn't have long toenails for that, because long nails being pushed into you is not fun."
No.
So he just starts cutting his toenails in the middle of the night, and as he clicks the toenail cutter, you hear a snipping sound, just like this really ambient snipping, and he's like, "What is that?" But he just ignores it and keeps going until like the person that he's under the care of shoves him aside before a giant pair of scissors cuts his head off, and he goes, what is that? And yeah, apparently it's like that superstition is like, oh, it's because you will be the person that dies. And I'm just like, what? How does that relate to the toenails?
Yep.
But yeah, that's apparently a thing. Rick is proven to be a major powerhouse.
Yeah. So powerful, I don't even level him up all the way.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's what you could have had.
Oh, well.
To be fair, though, Hariyama is not that good of a fighting type.
No.
It's just cool that there's a sumo Pokemon.
Yes.
Ooh. Wait, what was that move?
Sky attack.
I'm trying to remember what other Pokemon appeared in Snap that were really cool to see. Tyranitar. There was a Tyranitar, and it was really nice. What else? Point is that Snap game seems to be making plenty for a lot of people. In fact, the Switch has kind of proven to bring new life into some games that didn't really breathe very well before.
Yeah.
Like Miitopia, for instance. Like when that released on the 3DS, there were some funny videos and LPs that came out of that.
Yeah.
Where, you'd make two Miis that were a couple. You'd see two Miis that were a couple, and you're like, all right, whose faces do I put on these characters? And you'd put on Sasuke from Naruto and Catherine Janeway from Star Trek. Or, just the randomest shit. But now, with this new Miitopia version on Switch, where the character creator, if I'm being honest, is, like, it's scary what people have been making. You can now get really, really hilarious stuff, like seeing almost creepily accurate depictions of the Yakuza cast as, members of the Miitopia cast. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I even saw somebody who made like three characters within a certain plot point, all Nicki Minaj.
Wow.
All of them. And the thing is that it was a king, a princess, the princess's fiance, who's a prince from a different kingdom, and then the princess's like childhood friend.
Oops!
And
all Nicki Minaj.
All of them Nicki Minaj, and it was really funny. And let's see, what were some other ones I saw that were funny? You know that how do I describe this meme? You know that like weak funny emoji meme where it's putting an eye and then a pair of lips and then another eye?
Yes.
Okay, somebody made a me of that and they call it sis.
Hmm.
And it's the cursest shit I've ever seen. Somebody made that Winnie the Pooh meme where it's Winnie the Pooh doing like that really cocky smirk.
Yeah.
But the thing is that that's not a very properly laid out me because it breaks on the eyes whenever it tries another facial expression.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody made Mickey and Rick from Rick and Morty. So it's Rick and Mickey. What were some other good ones? Let's see, I think obviously you see the Sonic ones. Everybody makes a Sonic one at some point.
Yep.
Bayonetta was one that I remember being made. Oh, there was a Mr. Clean that had almost freakish levels of detail.
Nice.
Point is, thanks to the Switch and thanks to some new features, Miitopia got a second lease on life, and people see that it's actually a pretty fun game.
Totally.
All things considered.
The Switch has been good.
Switch has been good. I just only wish that it could be able to run some more powerful stuff, or, you know...
Whoa, I wasn't even planning on entering that door.
Wait, was that guy just really waiting to jump scare someone?
Looks like.
He's like one of those, he's like those videos you see of dudes in cat suits who, like, try to pretend to be mannequins and scare people.
Yeah.
Apparently I saw one of those videos where that went horribly wrong and they actually got in trouble with the police.
Whoops.
It's just like, it's funny, but some people do not have a sense of humor. Like, they really don't.
Yep.
It reminds me of this one where, I don't know what the... Like, there were these skaters that were just, like, doing some tricks on a sidewalk, and then one of them did a trick where he was, like, on the side of a building for a couple seconds, and I know that sounds weird, but it's just like he did it for like a quick second where he was just on a part of the building and then came back down, and then you see this older woman on her phone being like, "I'm calling the cops because you're skating on the building," and it's like, ugh. Like, no fun.
Can you not be impressed by the fact he got to skate on the building? Like, that's kind of cool.
If you saw the video, it wouldn't be that impressive. Hence why it's... The thing he did was not severe enough for somebody to call the cops on him. Let me say that. Well, at least you're able to one-shot a lot of things here.
Yeah.
Looks like keeping this Altaria was a good idea.
Oh, yeah.
I have to wonder if whether or not... You know what would probably shock me from Pokemon to do? Is that after the success, I guess, that new Pokemon Snap has gotten, that they branch off into way more spin-off ideas, because... As we're recording this, I think the only spin-offs in recent memory that I can recall are Pokemon Go, which is kind of more of a collaboration, I guess, and that came out like back in 2016.
Yeah.
But in terms of like games made and put on Nintendo consoles, it's like there's the remake of the first Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, which I don't think really did very well in a lot of people's eyes. Like, I played some of it and I like it, but I guess a lot of people call it a bit soulless, which can be understandable. But then there's new Pokemon Snap, which, you know, a lot of people find is adorable and fun.
Yeah.
So maybe maybe Pokemon Company and Game Freak can see like, oh hey, seems like people actually like these spin-offs. Why don't we do more of these? What's another spin-off idea we had that could unlock more potential now that we've got over almost 1,000-ish Pokemon? Oh, I know. How about another Pokemon game that has the Shadow Pokemon in it?
Yeah.
Or, you know, another Pokemon Conquest. I know some people found that game really cool.
Yep.
What was another spin-off? There's Pokemon Ranger. Which have you ever played one of those? I remember playing one of those for like a bit, but not for very long.
I only remember it being a thing. I never played one.
Okay. Let's see. There was Ranger, Conquest. Maybe they could do like a virtual version of the card game.
They have one of those though.
They have one? Okay, never mind.
Yeah, like actually the Pokemon trading card game, because it's made by Wizards of the Coast, like they made a web app where you could play with other people online with the latest cards to help sell booster packs and help you familiarize yourself with the game.
Yes, help with the booster packs where people are buying up those stocks like clockwork around Walmarts and Targets and shit and scalping them. Jesus. I remember seeing this one video of a crowd of scalpers that were waiting for, I think, a Walmart to open, and they were bursting in with carts to go to the card section and buy a bunch of Pokemon cards, and it's like, you assholes are the reason it's so hard for people to actually get to have fun on their own time and not lose money. Like, Also, yeah, this is the dude whose Bayleaf you stole. From the very beginning of the game.
Alright. I'm kind of glad we ran into each other.
Yeah, scalpers can eat shit. They really can. Like, it's thanks to them that I haven't been able to get a PS5. I would have a PS5 by now if it wasn't for them.
It's due to them. I can't upgrade my video card and do better content for this channel.
Yeah, like, it's because of them that Jordan can't be able to render Nemesis's arms in full 1080p as they punch Jill in the face.
720's all you get.
Yeah. So, basically, scalpers can just eat every corner of our shit. And I just... Did I tell you how close I got to... No, I did. I did tell you about how close I got to getting one, actually. I just... And the thing is that a lot of cool-ass looking exclusives are coming to PS5. Like, Demon's Souls remake came out, and a lot of people liked that. And then there's that Returnal game, which, I mean, sounds really awesome. It sounds like a really fun roguelike game.
Yeah.
Like, apparently, from what I've heard, it has, like, mixes, sort of influences of Metroid in its design, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. So I thought that, so that sounds really neat. There's the Final Fantasy VII Remake DLC stuff with Yuffie, which you can't get on PS4.
Yeah.
That shit is actually, like, that actually makes me frown actively.
That really is kind of sad. Like, why can't you put that on the PS4? The game's already running on the PS4.
Yeah.
So it's like there really is no reason you shouldn't be able to port that over.
Yeah, and the thing is that it seems like it wouldn't be as aggravating if Sony would just acknowledge the stalking problem that they're having with this PlayStation 5 and just, like, make sure that they can get more units out or find some preventative measures for scalping. It's just...
Yeah.
It's just not fun. And I know, and sadly, there's going to only be more games out for PS5 than there are that won't be. Which, granted, you know, it's not like last gen is completely getting shafted, but...
Yeah, like, it's on a good life support overall. Guilty Gear Strive on all systems.
Yeah.
Wow,
I mean,
I'm so sad I did not one-shot that guy.
and not to mention, how sometimes exclusivity works in a game's detriment, or how, keeping it to only one system and that specific console generation, cough, Nintendo, can pretty much kill a game's life strain.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, this game, granted, there isn't really much of a reason to play it outside of just wanting to try this out for the first time, or if you're a collector.
Yeah.
But it's a nice little stepping stone.
It really is.
God damn.
Probably should have killed him a choke. Oh well.
Eh.
Oh, that'll work.
Like, for instance, Hades is going to be also out at some point for Xbox and PS4, so it's like, and PlayStation systems, so it's like, oh, okay, so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now Hades is not going to be just Switch and PC exclusive.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand, wanting to have reasons for you to keep to a specific version of your game, like exclusive stuff for certain consoles back in the day would mean like, oh, we want to make sure we make the best possible game on this device that we can convince you to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas nowadays the exclusives are just like, all right, we're going to have some good and some that are just not full of any kind of heart.
Yeah. Well, also, you're, okay, that's interesting. Just the guy actually knew who we were. But, like, back in the day, too, you had the excuse that if you were developing for a certain console, most of the time those consoles were using such different code, porting to other systems was super expensive and difficult.
Yeah, like, for instance, even though, it's one of the most beloved games of all time, and Capcom were right in not holding it exclusively on the GameCube, Resident Evil 4, had it on the PS2, and even though the PS2 kind of crunched the audio and visuals a bit, it was still a perfectly workable version. And now look at Resident Evil 4. It's pretty much ported to any console that exists ever across time.
Pretty much.
Anything with an analog stick can have Resident Evil 4 ported to it.
Yep.
Like, give it time, and I'm confident that they could find a way to port Resident Evil 4 to, like, smart TVs or something.
Yeah, they would.
Aw, poor Don fan.
Yeah.
God, I wonder what a randomizer of this game would be like.
That would be fun.
Oh, God. Well, at least it's not a... What was that one that in Gen 4 that really messed up the metagame? I think it was Stealth Rocks, I think.
Probably.
Have you ever seen a shiny Sandslash?
I believe I have. Sandslash is actually one of my favorite Pokemon.
I have a shiny of it.
Nice.
And funny enough, the shiny actually came from Gen 4, so it's like one of the rare ones.
Cool.
So far, the only shinies I have that are from the old games are my Beedrill and my Sandslash. That's it.
Alright.
Everything else is either from Go or the recent games, which I don't know if people would count those as major shiny finds, but I don't know. They happened.
Yep. Like, we probably could just go straight to Mirror B in that elevator, but I kind of want to do all the battles. Does that make sense?
You want to fight everybody in here?
Yeah, well, it's only one more, so I think we'll fight her, and then I'm pretty sure that's going to lead to the final battle when we go to that elevator, right?
Yeah, like you've just got late NPC with... God, her red... Even her gloves are not the same color as her bodysuit.
No, it's not. I'm okay with that, but like if I redid, I'd make them just a dark brown leather. Because it's a reddish brown, you know?
Same as her boots.
Yeah, like maybe tie it in with the boots and the belt. Like make the belts, the boots, the gloves. Like she's a farmhand essentially, with a purple hat.
A farmhand in a red bodysuit, though.
No, jumpsuits are kind of common, so I don't mind seeing the jumpsuit. It's just
a form-fitting jumpsuit, though. The ones that show off the thick.
Fair. I'm just saying, like that's probably the main thing I do to fix that, or also replace the purple leopard print hat with a brown leather hat. Just she can keep the jumpsuit. It's just everything else needs to change around it.
Yeah. Although then again, like I say, I joke about the form-fitting thing, but let's be frank, Pokemon at this point, a lot of its appeal has a lot of Pokemon waifus have come up in recent years, to an almost freakishly high degree on how fast people are with making art of them. Like, like I remember when Nessa was first shown, and it was almost immediate.
Yep.
Like, I saw I saw Nessa as the water gym leader, and I was like, I wonder what the internet will say about her, and the internet spoke.
Yep. It took them less than 10 seconds.
Artists are freaky people, man.
Yep.
Artists are like freaky people. Like, a lot of the time, I feel like there's two different kinds of artists. Artists that are super quick on the draw when it comes to new content and are willing to make a full-ass illustration or a full-body art of a character or a fan art or something a bit more risque, if you get my drift. And, they're just on that. They have the pulse of it. Whereas other artists are just more focused on their larger projects and don't even acknowledge the modern pulse.
Mm-hmm.
Or not, I don't know. I'm not an artist, but I can certainly admire the speed at which they function.
Yes.
Because Lord knows I can't draw for shit. So it's like when I see people making stuff about like characters that were just shown for like a few minutes max. God, I remember when remember when Sword and Shield were first shown?
Yeah.
People, and the animator Dibs, is that how you pronounce their name?
I thought it was Dives.
Well, for anybody that doesn't, I guess it might be Dives, since it's two eyes. I guess it must be Dives. For anybody that doesn't know, Dives is like this artist and animator who is very... I don't know what you'd say about them. Would you say they're like famous, infamous, well-known, just well-known?
I'd say well-known.
Okay. They're a fairly well-known animator and artist who have a particular style about how they draw characters, and they already had made a Jinjinka, basically a humanification, I guess, of Scorbunny as soon as the trailer that showed the starters dropped, and it's like, how did you already make an animated GIF of that? How?
I think I can kind of explain how. It's that essentially they drew the body proportions, just human body proportions, and animated the GIF already, but there was no real details drawn on top of it, so the whole base animation was done. Then when Scorbunny was shown, they were able to just anthropomorphize, draw essentially a skin layer on top of the frames they already made, and whip it out real quick.
Oh, so that's the secret. They just slap a skin on doodles that they probably did as warm-up sketches.
Sometimes.
Okay.
So
That actually that clears up a lot, actually.
yeah, that's a little artist tip. Like, me and every other artist probably have other things we've done just as practice or mindless doodles saved somewhere. And to save time, sometimes we'll, just use that.
Yeah, it's kind of like using a particular essay template to that you did for one subject, and then just, I don't know, repurpose it for another one.
Exactly. If we got a template, why not use it? It's actually one of the reasons I found like Warhammer and miniature painting so enjoyable, because, well, they're technically already a template, but you can't really do a lot of prep work on them until you're doing them, so you really have to commit.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we will probably finish this series next time, and then maybe do a one-off where I just beat the battle tower and we chat or something.
Yeah,
But,
just kind of, yeah, just shoot the shit or something.
Yeah, but expect maybe 1-2 more short episodes of this. And thank you for coming along for the ride. If you've actually seen every episode of this series, I want you to comment in the, diddly-do below and tell us.
And I'm just,
and
all,
hell yeah.
All I want to ask is, like, how do you have the patience for that? If you're a fellow Pokemon, I guess, not if you're knowledgeable about Pokemon like I am, and you were watching Jordan, who has not much of a concept on how Gen 3 worked, and you saw him nuzlocke this game and, like, try to fumble around blind. Oh boy, you have the patience.
But also, you probably got an experience no one else is going to give you on this site. So,
fair enough. Fair enough.
Hey, we're just happy to have people who actually care about our content, and we can't thank you enough.
Exactly.
So we've had fun playing this, and we'll continue.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, thanks for checking us out.
Hell yeah. So we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Open Couch Gaming for more video game antics.